What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And I got back into eFootball today, and I am extremely glad that I did. So, a little backstory. I love all football games. That is what I do. It is my passion. I was a real life football player, turned coach, turned football gamer. I've obviously played FIFA my entire life. And then once my playing career ended, and then it was just coaching, I had a lot more time and pretty much replaced my playing career and commitment into that and put that into football gaming. So I have a true passion for it. With that being said, eFootball was a game that I didn't really get into just because I was so deep into FIFA, obviously now FC. And then UFL came along and I really got behind that because at the initial release, I really enjoyed the game. Unfortunately, they've taken a lot of wrong turns, and currently their game is literally like a terrible nightmare right now. And that's just the truth. However, there are still players that are subscribed to my channel that play the game, and therefore I will not stop providing them the assistance that they need, whether it's tactics, whether it's tips, whatever it is. And I want the game to succeed still, so I'm not just totally giving up on it. It would be great to have 3 great football games. It would be great to have 4 if 2K truly is doing this FIFA game that everyone's talking about. We will see. So I'm not just closing the door on UFL, just like I didn't totally close the door on EA Sports with FC. Now, of course, I did not at all think with how EA Sports was operating, they were just going to totally change directions and fix FC. I thought FC 25 was the last straw, and then look how they turned that game around. But with that being said, there are still players that don't enjoy FC or didn't even give it a chance post-patch and just will not play it or do not like EA Sports and FC. That is where eFootball can come in. If you're like me, you just didn't give it a try because you didn't have enough time to learn the controls, or you turned it on and you probably got whooped at the beginning, which I got whooped a ton today. I just started playing last night, right? It is not a game that you are going to turn on, like I said earlier, and I want to repeat it, that you're going to turn on and just be good at immediately, which isn't what you want. That's the fun of it, the challenge of it. I ended up getting promoted, and it took me to the last game just to get promoted to Division 5. All throughout my gaming session, I was clicking in player lock, calling players too, sending players on run, which none of those work in eFootball, but it's just a muscle memory from FC. And then obviously UFL copied more from FC. Not everything, and even that took some time to get used to, but all session I'm getting whooped in games where I'm playing better football, but I just don't have the controls on. I don't know the nuances, right? Certain little things that my opponents knew ended up getting the best of me. So it still was rewarding. I still wish I could be playing right now, but I have some things to do after this video. I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood that this is absolutely a viable football game to play. One of the first things that you will notice that is great about this game is the spacing is excellent. No more broken defenses, right? If you're coming from UFL or if you played FC pre-patch, no more attacking 8 defenders in the box, right? Your build-up actually matters, and you can make some great passing sequences and score some beautiful goals. Now, is everything great about this game? No. Is everything great about any game? Absolutely not. For instance, I cannot stand the tacklebacks in FC right now. In eFootball, there's this almost like, I call it a cooldown period where you can't tackle back. They probably had this issue before and fixed it, right? However, the passing, how quick it is, I don't like that there's sort of a power-up delay, if you will, in passing and shooting. Whereas FC, it's constant. You can move the ball as quick as you want. With that being said, though, there's plenty of players that call that ping pong ball and do not enjoy that because it's more arcade feeling. To me, each of these games, those types of things are like the video game aspect of each game. Now, some games determined that they didn't want certain things, and other games determined that they did want certain things. So each game has their own feel, their own unique approach, and that's what makes it great, is that you can play football but in 2 totally different ways. It takes different skill sets to be good at each one. It's a beautiful thing if you're a football gaming fan. I just know that eFootball doesn't have the biggest following, definitely in the United States. And in Europe, I know it's not where eFootball is huge, right? eFootball is huge in Asia, but the lag is non-existent. Every single game felt great. Now, who knows? Am I playing players from Japan? I highly doubt it because there's still a good following for eFootball. I'm just saying it is not extremely popular, especially in the United States. And I'm here to tell you, no matter where you are in the world, that it is a fantastic game. What I love most about it in the gameplay part is that it is so rewarding when you have good passing sequences, right? Once you can get past that little bit of power up delay, not delay as in like connection, delay as in you go to pass and it's not instant. You have to power it up, then it plays, right? That little delay there, once you get used to that, the sequences you can make are brilliant, and that leads, again, to brilliant goals or at least brilliant opportunities. Their through ball and just their passing mechanics are brilliant. Not to mention, their grind in the menus is the only football game, I should say, that matches FC's. In their own way, they have an awesome system where you can go get some really good icons and really good legends, and every time you log in, you're getting some kind of reward. There's something going on, right? It's definitely not stale in that aspect. And as far as the tactics go, I really love that too. I love how you can move the players to a specific area. There's multiple different roles you can play based on the space you put them at on the field, right? So you can, for instance, have a right wing forward, but then you could have a shadow striker on the other side. And then you go from a base formation, but you can move the players according to your play style. Then there's a whole bunch of different aspects of making your tactics and your game plan exactly how you want it. I love how the manager has a certain style of play, and that affects your players' ratings. All these things are awesome, right? They all add a depth to a football game that makes it worth continuing to play. Now, they do have something similar to UFL that I like too, as far as you can go get players, I guess you would call them, from the general player list. I'm probably not saying that right, but the players that are kind of 80 rated, I believe, when you buy them or whatever, and then you can boost them up, similar to boosting players in UFL. The only difference is, let's say I got Mbappe. I believe he was like an 80-something when I bought him, and then I was able to progress him to like the 95 or 97, whatever he is. In UFL, obviously, those meta players are topped out already stat-wise, but the rest of the players you can boost up. I actually like it better from eFootball because you get these excellent base players, but you grind the game, and that's how you can move them up. Then, just like UFL, you can add different skills and things like that. So that is very cool. That's another area too. Similar to like the player roles or in UFL, the skill sets. I love how it's not necessarily pressing more buttons in game. For instance, like a curling shot or finesse shot, whichever one you want to call it, or a trivela. But if they have that ability, right, they'll actually have that animation. If they don't have the ability, they won't have that animation. It's simplified. So I could go on and on. This is just a summary video. Please try the game yourself. I truly believe you will enjoy it. I will continue to be playing it. I will continue to share my journey and give any tips and tricks that help me along the way. Now, the difference, the unique part of this is that I've made it to the top in these other two games, and a lot of players are looking at me as a player that got to where they want to get to. And so then I share everything that helped me get to that level. With eFootball, I will be sharing these tactics, these tips, all these different things that are helping me as I'm climbing, right? Some of you maybe even will surpass me. But the beauty of it is there's a ton of football to be played now if you're a football gamer. FC, brilliant right now. eFootball, it's so fun to play. Now, I know a lot of people say it's not in the best spot. There's certain things people don't like about eFootball. A lot of the pay to win type of mentality. But I have a full free-to-play team, right? All of the players that I have, it would be a meta. They're the best players in UFL. It's just they have tons of icons and legends as well as boosted cards like a boosted Mbappe or Holland or whoever. And so you can absolutely tell, by the way, which we could go into that as well. I just proved with UFL the attributes just don't mean much at all, and there's just not much player identity. That also adds to the stale feeling of UFL. That is not the case at all. You know, like when you're on the ball with Mbappe, you know it. When you're on the ball with Holland, you can feel the difference. When you're, defending and I'm back there with Van Dijk, I feel as confident as ever, and it's a different feeling from, say, Van de Ven, right, who's excellent in his own way, but the player identities are excellent. The attributes and the meaning, as well as the boosts and stuff like that, you can feel all of that. So I give eFootball an A, right? I give FC25 right now an A+. You could say I'm grading on a curve, but I'm talking about, do I enjoy playing them? Do I look forward to playing them? Am I excited? Is there a skill gap, right? Absolutely yes on all of those fronts. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. Nobody's perfect, and neither are games, right? But they are very good games. Right now, UFL, I give a D. The only reason I'm not giving it an F is because just a bit ago they released a good game that had potential, and they just started taking a lot of wrong turns. But the reason why they get a D instead of an F is because they've shown in the past that they could make a good game, a game that players like to play, that have fun with, that has a skill gap. Why they turned away from that, I don't know, but that gets them a D instead of an F. That's just the facts. I'm not dogging UFL. I'm not dogging Strikers. You can tell just by going across the socials and seeing what people are saying about UFL compared to what people are saying about FC or eFootball. There's always going to be some people that don't like the game, right? To each their own. Some players are going to like one game, some players are going to like the other. But this is the most I've ever seen a community hate a game together. The closest that a game has come to this was FC25 pre-patch. And that is not a game that you want to be associated with. So let's hope that Strikers can change things over there. However, we're talking about eFootball, and I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it, and I'm talking actually worked on the controls, right? Worked on the nuances of the game. If you just turned it on and then got whooped and turned it off, that's not giving the game its due respect, because there's a lot that went into making this game. It's clear when you play it, and you need to learn those things, and then you will start getting better over time. Trust me, if you watch the stream that this video came from, you will see that I get whooped a ton, and I get pissed off a lot too, without a doubt, as people do when they are getting beat. But at the end of the day, I was the one making a lot of the mistakes. The other things where maybe you could say it was a game, some of that has to do with my settings. Some of that also has to do with me using controls from FC, when obviously certain things, like there is no player lock. So when I'm sitting there trying to player lock somebody and then I lose the ball, that's my fault, right? But anyways, I just wanted to give a shout out to eFootball because it's been awesome the past couple days. And I want to give a shout out to Galfano Gaming because he is the one that made me really look into giving this game an actual shot. Some of the videos he was putting out, the highlights, and also just, he's a good guy. I respect his opinion from everything he's given feedback on with the channel. And there's no doubt that if he really liked this game, it was a good football game, and he's absolutely right. So I have a ton of work to do. He got on stream today and helped me a lot, and I appreciate that, and I will keep grinding. But what's more important than that is that you keep grinding, you keep having fun, and I will see you on the next one. But one extra thing, if you feel so gracious, there is a way to give a super thanks on the video. I would appreciate it, but if not, no big deal. Peace out.